Today I'm setting up this Apple Watch 7 for maximum productivity, and during this video I'll show you how you can too. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jaden. I'm a business owner, software engineer, and amateur athlete. And on this channel we talk about sports, technology, and business so that we can get the most out of every single day. So if you are a subscriber to my channel, you probably saw this poll that I sent quite a while ago because my Apple Watch Series 2 died, so I needed to get a replacement for it. And the overwhelming response was that I should go with an Apple Watch Series 7 to replace my old, dead Apple Watch Series 2. Because of that, I decided that it was time to make a video talking about how I'm going to set up my Apple Watch Series 7 to maximize productivity and maximize its usefulness to me. So first off, I wanted to make sure that I'm getting the absolute most that I can out of this Apple Watch Series 7 because it's an expensive product. It's something that you're spending, hundreds and hundreds of dollars to have something on your wrist. You want to make sure that it's working for you, not against you in the form of a distraction. So productivity being the antithesis of distraction, I wanted to make sure that I'm using it for good. So I don't want this video to be overly long, so I divided it into three main sections, which are style or formal, business and work, and then comfort and play. And as we go through each of these sections, there will be different topics and complications, watch faces that we put into each of these individual categories, but let's jump right into it. So let's start with the formal element. Now this is when you're with a group of people, you don't necessarily want to be distracted by your watch. Maybe you're in a meeting, maybe you're at church, but formal is what we're going for. So there are two main faces that I would recommend for this. One is the big numbers. It's kind of fun for a lot of people and it's really easy to see the time quickly at a glance, and you don't have to distract yourself from a conversation just to know what time it is. So the watch face that I've chosen for formal style is specifically the California watch face, which mimics a little bit more of what an analog watch would look like, except that in this case it's square to fill the Apple Watch. You can choose two complications to add to this. In my specific case, I chose the date, which is going to show you the day of the week as well as the date of the month, and then the activity rings as well in the lower section of the watch face. Now I did this because it's kind of nice to see, even when I am at more of a formal setting, how I'm doing, whether I need to stand up a little bit more throughout the day. The good news is with this section, the formal and style section, we don't have to spend much time here because there aren't many complications, and the goal is to not look at your phone, which really helps make things simple. Let's move straight into the most productive of all of the watch faces that I'll be discussing today, and that is the work and productivity face. Now this is what you want to use when you're specifically going to work or you just got to the office. You want to make sure that you're seeing everything you need to see, you have quick access to the things you want to use, and that is the watch face that I've chosen. Now there are a few different complications that I've selected for this specific watch face, and those would be the time and date, which is, a common theme across all of the faces. You need to make sure you can see the time. It is in fact a watch, but I've added to that in the top left corner a timer, so I can quickly add a 10-minute timer. You can change this if you're into something like the Pomodoro technique. You can change this to a 25-minute timer, or if you have any specific use case you want to use a timer for, go ahead and do that. After that, I have a quick calendar so I can see exactly what I need to be doing next, and that keeps me up to date on my schedule, whether that's for a time block or a meeting that I specifically have to prepare for. Below this on the left, I have the voice memo, so I can take a quick note if I need to, if I want to keep an idea down. A popular app that I see for this from other creators is called Drafts. It's something that I'm exploring, but right now I just use voice memos. In the bottom middle, I use Transit because I take the train to work, so it helps when I know exactly when to leave to maximize the time that I'm at the office, but also minimize the time that I'm spending in transit. And it's been super helpful to me. I really like it. I like the interface. So if you use public transit to get to work, I would definitely recommend it. The last one on the list for this watch face is Spotify, and I use that because it's kind of nice to have something to listen to while you're working, and I personally am one that likes to listen to calming music while I'm focused or get into deep focus. If that's not you, you can change this to audiobooks, or you can select something entirely new, just depending on what works best for your specific use case. So at this point, it's a great time to talk about the changing of a complication or the changing of a watch face in general. So the point of an Apple Watch is that you should definitely have multiple watch faces because having them allows you to switch contexts depending on what you need the watch for. If you really just want to use one single watch face, you should just buy a regular watch versus an Apple Watch that you'll spend a lot more money for. I love having these complications, and I love the fact that I can choose different complications all the time. Next week, these might not be the same complications that I'm using, but these are the ones that I have found to be most productive and helpful for me at this point. And I recommend to you that you continue exploring, and if you find something that's even better or a watch face you like even more, please leave it in the comment section down below because I always like to try different apps and different opportunities to see what might be the best for my current situation. So let's finish with the comfort or play section, and this is a separate watch face from the work one, but it looks very similar. I like this computer style watch face. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's the one where you can put the most amount of things and have the easiest access to each of those complications. So on this screen, I also have the time and date in the exact same location. It helps because that's where I tend to look for that information, but I have different things for all of these elements. Now, the complication in the top left is weather, and this is important to me because when I'm not at work, It's kind of nice to know what the weather is like, what it's going to be later on, if it's at its warmest for the day or not, so I can know what to wear for the day, or I can know what we should do for an afternoon activity as a family. Moving from there, I like the activity graph. Now this is helpful to me. I know some people have mentioned that they don't like it as much, but I like it because it helps me see exactly what stand hours that I have and don't have. That helps me to stand up when I need to, as well as seeing when I've worked out throughout the day, and if I've gotten the move minutes that I've expected to get, or if I need to plan a workout for the evening. Moving into the bottom left, we have Spotify again, probably a different playlist for this comfort play section, but it's nice to have Spotify there if I want to listen to something or just some music on the side. I also have in the bottom center audiobooks from Audible. That's super helpful to me because I do like listening to audiobooks in my spare time, and having that so easy to access is beneficial, and don't have to surf through my phone to find the audiobook that I want to listen to. I can just start it right from the watch face. The last one that I have for this comfort play section is on the bottom right, and that's the workouts. Now this I don't use as much for my harder workouts, like if I'm going to be working out on my bike or doing something similar to that I'll use Strava for. But this is the case where I'm just going for a quick walk with the family, or I have to walk some extended distance and I want to track how long it is. It's really easy to click on that workouts app and just start a quick outdoor workout. That's been really convenient for me. If you do want more of a workout specific watch face, let me know in the comment section below. I can make an entire video just dedicated to the workout elements of the Apple Watch Series 7 and how I would set up the watch face for that specific use case. But for this, we're talking about Apple Watch productivity. So those are the 3 different sections and different watch faces that I would recommend setting up. So let's dive into some tips and how to ensure that you're getting the most out of your Apple Watch Series 7 now that you have all of these watch faces already set up. So the first thing you want to do is set up shortcuts. Now this is a fantastic way to use shortcuts where during the day at different points of the day, whether that's based on a calendar event, a location, or a time, you can set up to change your watch face according to that trigger. Now I really like this about the Shortcuts app, and I would recommend you check it out and try it out and see what you think. But if you can change your watch face from sport to play to formal based on a time of day or a specific schedule, I think that's excellent. You don't have to worry about moving it around or being in the wrong watch face. Maybe it's a little thing, but little automations like this that really help life be a little bit smoother definitely increase my productivity, so I would recommend that you do the same. Now, notifications are a big deal on the Apple Watch. I know some people have said they don't want the Apple Watch because of the notifications, and that's something that I've said previously as well, and I think notifications can be really annoying on the Apple Watch. One thing that I would recommend, go through the Apple Watch app on your phone and remove all the notifications that you don't think you absolutely need. And then throughout the day, as you're looking through your different notifications, or you get a notification on your Apple Watch, you can select that notification, swipe to the left, and say that you don't want to see it anymore on your Apple Watch. And that will save you a significant amount of time, and you can go through those notifications as you get them, telling the watch whether you would really like to receive that notification or not. The last tip that I have is to orient your Apple Watch appropriately. Now, depending on whether you want it on your left wrist or your right wrist, that doesn't really matter, but I would definitely recommend putting the crown of the watch toward your arm versus toward your hand. The reason for this is if you ever do anything, like for example, in my case, golf or any other sport, where you often have your hand bent, you will accidentally press the Siri button many times, and it's caused me a little bit of a headache. So I would recommend right out of the gate when you get your Apple Watch, move the crown over to the inside of your arm, and that will save quite a bit of trouble with Siri. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you and you found some cool complications to add to your new Apple Watch faces. And if it's been helpful, let me know with leaving a like on this video. And if you want to see more from my channel, I'll leave a playlist over here that you can check out to see even more about what I'm doing in the world of sports, business, and technology. So thanks, hope you had a good time, and we'll see you in the next one.